So the shortest answer of what we're doing is you're going to talk about a global issue, and you're going to use the two texts that you chose to talk about that global issue. Okay, so you're going to kind of say what your opinion is, or what you think needs to be done, or what is the issue, how do we consider it? Okay, that's what you're doing in this essay, in this speech, in this talk. Mm-hmm. So in order to get a good global issue statement, you need to find out what the global issues are. So you're going to start here. You said you liked this as your field of inquiry, which is power. It's a good field of inquiry to start with. Okay, so next, after power, in order to kind of narrow it down to your global issue, you said you picked One Day and Glory, the film. Okay. After that, you're going to go to the UN 17, okay? And you're going to pick one of these tiles. You don't have to, but it's just a really good resource. And it's a really easy way for us to go to the next step. So when you're thinking about One Day in the Life of Ivan Denisovich and the movie Glory and Power, which one of these feels like the next step in your thought process? So just take a minute and read those.
Probably 16, peace, justice, and strong institutions.
Okay. Okay. Now, narrow it down even more. How do you see peace, justice, or strong institutions in One Day and in Glory? How does that have to do with power? What's the next idea? What do you mean by that? Who is it affecting? How does it affect people?
Like, how are these three affecting, like, the people in these two?
No, we haven't. We're going to use these as evidence. Okay. We're going to use these to explain, when we get to this idea, we're going to use these to explain that idea.
Okay.
To talk to.
So now I need to find an idea.
Now, who does this affect? Who's affected by it? What's happening to them?
Oh, in the real world?
Yeah.
Oh,
And maybe you're like, I don't really care about justice and strong institutions. I want to talk about peace, or whatever.
Okay.
So you don't have to talk about all three of them, because there's a lot of ideas in all three of them.
Okay.
So you can narrow it even down.
So justice would be like people, or peace would be like people who are like treated unfairly.
Okay.
Or like in like fights and stuff, like wars and stuff.
Okay.
And justice would be like people.
But pick one. I don't need you to pick all three. That's what I'm saying, is there's a lot of ideas in these three concepts. Those are three very big categories still.
Okay.
So it might help if you say, I don't really care about these two things. I want to look at justice.
Okay.
Okay, power and justice, and then I want to go further from there.
Yeah, that's probably, these two are the best.
So
like
power and justice?
Yeah.
Okay, so let's go ahead and pick justice. Okay, Power and justice. So now, who is affected by justice, and what's happening to them that you want to talk about? Because you're trying to look for an issue that you are going to talk about.
In the real world? Mm-hmm. Okay. Probably people who are like wrongly convicted of something with, like, against people with power. It's like people with power wrongly, like, take someone's justice away, I guess.
Okay. People with power wrongly take people's, what did you say? People's justice?
Like, yeah, I don't know how to say that, like.
Away. Okay. So what happens to them specifically? This is where maybe you can lean on what's going on in your texts. Mm-hmm. So in text 1, in One Day, how is is text 1 a display of this happening?
Like the people in the prison getting treated unfairly.
Okay.
From like the guards and stuff.
Are they there fairly? Are they even in the prison fairly?
No.
Okay, so they're incarcerated wrongly. Because it's a political prison, right? What about in glory?
Probably the black soldiers getting like didn't they get like an assignment that was supposed to kill them all, like at the end of the movie?
Well, yes, you're
different?
remembering some information wrong though.
Like, oh, because they chose to do it?
They volunteered.
Okay.
I mean, somebody had to go do it, but they volunteered. So
How about when they weren't
if they
allowed to fight?
volunteer, I'm not sure that's a display of power and injustice.
So could it be like when they weren't allowed to fight?
Well, all right. Anything else that you can think of? I know it's on the spot, and you'd want to go back and kind of research more, or look
Maybe
at notes.
when they didn't get paid the same?
Okay, good. Let's just state there. All right. So, so now these are from our pieces of literature. Okay, but we need this to be about the real world. Okay. So, how do we talk about the problem that these pieces, these texts are giving an opinion on? So, like you've already kind of said how they're related to this idea.
Okay.
And when you go to structure, you're going to use these examples to say this opinion and this opinion. Okay, like in this example, in this text, this happened, and in this text, this happened, right?
And then I gave a real world example.
So now, what is the problem that it's looking at, it's answering, or it's arguing for, that it's trying to answer? How does this happen? How does this happen?
Like, how does this happen right here?
Yeah.
Maybe like not great people getting power. Or like bribes, or like
Good people.
or like people in power not using it right, or not using it for good.
You have all good answers. Okay, not using it for good. I know, I want to write them down. What did you say? Bribes? What else did you say? Let's call them bad people
Okay.
in power. So other than bad people in power, could be good people be in power and use their power badly?
Yeah.
Okay. Use power
In the wrong way or something.
wrong. Okay. All right. So, what's the impact? What happens when this happens? What's the impact of this?
People could like their lives could get ruined.
Like that. I need another desk. You write it down. Do a square at the top, and let's call that square impact. So and then you're going to write what the impact is
Okay, down here.
in the square.
What did I say again? People.
What happens when this happens? Like what's?
Oh, people lives getting ruined.
What's the impact when this happens? People's lives get ruined. Okay. So now, how can we make this and this and this and this and that a sentence? Ooh, see, there's the hard work right there.
People's lives get ruined when the wrong people have power.
Okay, write that out.
Where just
Write it out. It doesn't matter. We're working in marker, so we're going to erase everything anyway. It's a nice thing. All right, now let's strengthen your statement. by putting a little bit more information into it from these two categories. Okay? Because we didn't really talk about this yet, but people's lives get ruined. What do you mean by ruined?
Like they could get incarcerated wrongly.
Okay. What else happened in the book or in the film where people's lives were ruined when the wrong people were in power?
Treated unfairly.
Okay. So ruined, can we elaborate ruined and or treated unfairly? Can we just add there?
Okay.
Okay. Let's talk about wrong people.
Okay.
When the wrong people have power. Who are
Okay.
the wrong people?
People who like take bribes or say that.
Hold on. Yes, but let's make it into a good thing. People who take bribes,
Or like wouldn't make good decisions.
okay, or who use power badly or wrongly, or they're
Not good people.
not good people. So how do we say that in a kind of like a nice and tidy way?
So the wrong people with power would be people who take bribes and aren't good people and don't use it right.
You could say like take advantages.
How would you describe that wrong? If you had like only one or two words, how would you describe a person who does all that?
Bad.
Okay. What else? Bad is not a strong enough word. It's
Okay.
kind of like
Maybe like no morals or something, or like
how would you say that in just like one word? No morals is a good way to think of
okay,
it.
no morals.
Right. I think I have one that you can't.
Rock phone a friend and see if you can find a help vocabulary flex.
Going.
Say it again, like a word for no morals.
Yeah.
A word to describe this right here. Not good people get in power.
What I would
People
Like
who have
sleazy
bribes
or something?
Bad people in power, or people who use power wrongly.
Well, I would say to summarize all that, it's just people who take advantage of it.
People who take advantage of power. People who
I mean, that may not always be a bad thing, but like the way that I see it, based off of all of that, when you say they're taking bribes, or
People who,
using
like-
their power wrongly, taking advantage of it.
Hey, phone a friend, class. Think with us, ready? Find a word. We're looking for a way to describe bad people or wrong people who are not good people that get in power, that take bribes, bad people in power, or people who use power wrongly. What kind of word would you use to describe that? If you had one word. Tyrant. What else? Corrupt. Very good.
that's
Anybody else? Like it. Very good. Thank you. Help. Good job. Tyrannical or corrupt. So if you're describing a person, they would be tyrannical. A tyrant is a person.
Tyrant.
That's a noun. So you want to say tyrannical. Okay. So now when we go back to our sentence, people's lives get ruined when the wrong people.
So when corrupt or tyrannical people.
Ooh.
Okay.
Sounds so nice. And
So
smart.
when
Miss Brown, you're like real life chat GPT sometimes.
I'm the OG ChatGPT, man. Freaking heck. Chat doesn't. Oh, yeah, so. Anyway, okay, so now people's lives get ruined when corrupt or tyrannical people have power. All right, now we're really cooking, because now you can use that sentence. The thing is we haven't really talked about this spot right here.
justice.
Yes.
Okay.
So let's read our sentence again and see what we can do with this spot right here. People's lives get ruined when corrupt or tyrannical people have power. How can we talk about, we cross this out, so we're just dealing with justice. How can we put the idea of justice in this sentence?
Just say like, and there is no justice at the bottom. So people's lives get ruined when corrupt or tyrannical people have power and those people don't have justice.
Could we reorganize the sentence to make it sound better?
I think what you can say is kind of what it says right there. people with power wrongly take people's justice away. So instead of saying lives, you could maybe exchange that for justice, like their justice
just
and
like-
freedoms.
Like take this out and
I
put.
mean, that's what I'm saying. It might not be right.
It's not about being right. It's about crafting a sentence that you can work with.
Wait, that's pretty good, no? People's justice?
justices and like maybe freedoms.
What I'm saying is, what if you reorganized the sentence? Right
So-
now you have people and their lives first, and then you're talking about corrupt, tyrannical people. What if we talked about corrupt, tyrannical people first,
Okay.
and then their effect on
So
others?
corrupt or tyrannical people with power ruin people's lives when there's no justice? Or take justice away? Take justice away?
I like where you're going with this, that we're gonna have to take justice away and make that a better concept, but I like your structure. So write that structure and then let's play with it from that angle, because you got something good there.
Oh, you want me to erase all this?
I wouldn't erase any of this till you've got something rewritten. I don't like erasing. Just move to a new desk.
Corrupt or tyrannical people in power take. Is take a good word?
It might be. It might not be. We'll see. But we're good. Now we want to go, what you were saying, Adam, was to go with this idea here. Take people's justice away, wrongly take people's justice away. But this feels awkward and clunky, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm.
So let's maybe take people's justice away isn't the way we want to say it. So what's another way we can say take away? Remove?
Remove. Get rid of. Destroy.
Destroy? I like that word. It's good. Corrupt or tyrannical people in power destroy
People's justice.
people's justice. So when you say that, what do you mean by people's justice?
Like their freedom, kind of.
So do you want to say people's freedom?
Is that better?
Might be. It's about what you like.
Could you use both?
Justice
Freedom.
and
Maybe
freedom.
say corrupt or tyrannical people in power could take or can take away people's freedoms and justices away.
Yeah, you could say it's still a little awkward at that point. But you're getting close. You're getting really close there.
Okay. Corrupt or tyrannical people in power wrongly. Do we keep wrongly or no?
It could be a really good word, yeah.
Okay, so wrongly destroy people's freedom and justice, or strip people of their freedom and justice.
Ooh.
That's good. Should I write it?
Yeah. Well, it's a marker. We can erase everything.
How do you spell strip?
All right, I'm going to suggest one more reorganization.
Okay.
Okay. Where are we at here? Corrupt or tyrannical people in power wrongly strip. Let's move your noun.
Wrongly strip freedom and justice from people. Okay.
It's okay. You could just
Okay.
people. That's people.
There we go.
Yeah. All right. Now, do you like that?
Yeah, I like this better than this and this.
Okay. And now, if this is the thesis statement for your project or for your speech or essay, do you think you can now talk using these two examples to support that statement?
So I use these as like evidence, kind of.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So,
Even though it's not real life.
Well, we're using a text to comment on real life.
Oh, so we will give an example of real life and of this?
No, we are talking about real life. We're going to use the text to say what we
Oh,
believe
okay,
and what
okay,
we think. We're going to use the text to do that.
Okay.
Okay, so now that you've got this idea, this is a real life issue that's it's current, it's both global, and it's both global and personal.
Okay.
Right? Because this has global impact, right? This could be applied anywhere, any country, really at all. Right? And it could also be about your own life, right? So it has both global scale and individual scale, okay? And now you're going to use examples from your texts to speak about how this happens. This is the problem. So what you're trying to do is, let me read this sentence to you. This is the example sentence, okay, from the sample essay, okay? Theirs is a little bit of a different direction, but tell me if you think it sounds kind of similar.
Okay.
Today I'd like to discuss the field of inquiry of power.
So would we write today I'd like to discuss up here?
Yeah, we could get to that.
Okay.
And you might want to do that when you go in and speak.
Okay.
But that's kind of like that's the beginning.
Okay, yeah.
Today I'd like to discuss the field of inquiry of power, politics, and justice. More specifically, so they're just going to, I'd like to address and here's where this part would go in, the perception that women are emotional or crazy, and how this demeaning language requires women to redefine traditional female stereotypes and seek empowerment. So let's see, does that sound kind of like the same type of sentence that you've got going on here? The same?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm just going to put them together. Today I'd like to discuss the field of inquiry of power, politics, and justice. More specifically, I'd like to address
Justice? Or this?
corrupt or tyrannical people in power wrongly stripping freedom and justice from people. That sounds like
Sounds pretty good.
that sounds pretty good. So I think that you have a really good beginning here, and that's all I'm allowed to say at this point.
Okay. Can I take a picture of all this?
Heck yeah. Yes, please. Okay.
Oh yeah, I'll do that right now.
Now you're ready to work on your whole thing.
Okay.
Good
And that's when we start to use this and this?
Yeah, and you don't have to use just these examples. I would encourage you to go find very specific and useful examples.
Okay.
One of the worksheets is there for you to gather like 4 examples from each text to see what you're doing. You got to fill about 5. Well, your introduction should take a minute, and your conclusion should take a minute, and then the rest of this you have to balance.
And this is the intro?
The remaining 4 minutes between these two.
Okay.
This
and we can only use
This is the beginning of your intro. You're
Okay.
going to want to kind of do a little bit more intro work.
Okay.
But that's going to be the
So this is not a minute. This is like a few seconds.
right. I mean, it doesn't
Okay,
take
yeah.
a whole minute to say that.
Okay. And we can only use,
You don't have to take a whole minute for your introduction, though. You don't.
Okay.
You don't have to.
but we can only use one of each, right? The non-literary and literary?
Yeah, you can only use one from this category and one from this category.
Okay.
Or you only need 2. Yeah. You only
Okay.
need 2 examples. You don't want any more than that.
Oh, so we could use 2 from here, 2 from here, or no?
No, you have to use a literary
Okay.
and you have to use a non-literary.
Okay.
And these are the literary texts that we've gone over this year, and everything else is non-literary.
Okay.
So anything else that we've gone over this year goes over here in the non-literary group.
Okay. Sounds
Okay?
good.
All right, you have a much more clear understanding. Okay, so then you also need to keep track of this.
Okay.
Okay, so when you decide for sure what text you're going to use, you're going to write your literary text down, your non-literary text, your field of inquiry.
I think I like what I have.
Which is this.
Can I just use all these that we just did?
I mean, it gets really dicey because I kind of helped you through it, but yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, just, yeah.
Are 2 people allowed to do the same things? Like if we talked about different stuff, could we use all the same topics? But we didn't work together?
You can't have the same global issue statement. So if you wanted to do it, you would need to,
Figure out something else.
yeah. I mean, I just know that your brain is gonna gravitate towards a different specificity.
Yeah, I mean, I'll probably use one day, but for the non-literary one, I'm gonna do something else.
Right? You just can't have the exact same global issue statement.
Okay.
But if you went through kind of this concept and you came up with your own structure,
No, I just needed help understanding it, but I kind of understand a lot of it now. So.
okay. All right,
Are we good on the video?
we're
now?
good. Thank you.